So 10 basis points up. I guess that's 8 green days in a row. Thoughts on the end of the week? I think we just stay here until Powell talks tomorrow, probably. But the upside's weaker after today than it was yesterday. So out of the money call positionings kind of closed a little bit. Some of it picked back up on the bounce today, but not a lot. Tomorrow's open interest is almost completely flat around spot. The only significant call interest tomorrow is at 75 and 4,400. And then, yes, I mean, still not a lot of calls up to 4,400. So the range up to 4,400 is still weak. 4,400 is still a resistance. And I'm pretty sure they're just selling even more calls above 4,400. It might be if we move in the overnight session and we can cross 4,400 overnight, it's possible that they squeeze out some of the short calls and we tap gamma max, but it doesn't look that great. So you assume they would have tried to do off of market open today, but they didn't. Futures is already falling in after hours. It lost 4,400, kind of probably pulling back to where the MM's hedging at 75. RSP 16 BPS down today. NQ up 2. Russell down, Dow down, dollar flat. The 2-year was up on the day, but everything like 5, 10, 20, 30 all down. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. And correlation looks like it started to fall off a little bit with the end of the day pump, but I feel like that would snap back pretty quick if vol starts to pick up. The carry trades getting crushed down still. Yen just shy of 151, like 1 cent shy. I don't know what bond volatility was like today, but we're still seeing an increased volatility on or increased VVIX, so that's not really changing much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even, besides the Mag 7, I don't really know what's supported today. Not much. Everything else is like fucking flat or down. So 30% of the market concentration supporting 100% of the index. Healthy. I'm sure that'll last. GME still getting shorted. Not very interesting. Upstart got a ton of liquidity from the earnings sell-off. Probably has plenty of liquidity to continue shorting. Fubo still kind of flat. They shorted a little bit today with the fall off in Russell, but not a ton. We're still above like that 260 resistance. So if Russell were to run, this could still bounce back. I don't know if we get another high, but we could. If Russell keeps falling off though, that's going to keep providing liquidity, and they're going to continue to net off, right? And then the price will collapse. Siri, boring. Nothing really interesting there. Any earnings tonight? I don't think so. Nothing important, right? So bond sellers, but no one wants to buy them. Huh. All right. Tricky. Anything make you turn bullish into tomorrow? You seem pretty bearish during the 10-year auction. I'm still pretty bearish. I don't think there's like any room to pump. I don't think they have any liquidity up here. Like even getting to like gamma max seems really difficult at this point. And since Powell didn't really speak today, at least on monetary policy, that's just gonna kind of shift over everyone's plans for today into tomorrow. So we'll probably see something similar that we saw to what we saw this morning, and that they're going to try to push up in the pre-market into market open and try to get some stability at that 4,400 level before Powell's speech. If they can't, we're going to get stuck here at 43.75 until he speaks. And if he says anything hawkish and they lose gamma neutral, there's no downside support. So yeah, I feel like the upside's illiquid and the downside's kind of wide open. And they baited some call sellers in today, but probably not enough to give them more than a little bit of liquidity. Like, so I don't see any pump to the upside being sustainable. The only thing to step in for liquidity is the market maker, because we're above gamma neutral. And yesterday, like delta neutral started to get a little bit tighter despite gamma neutral falling. So we still have like a ton of concentration of interest like right here at the money. And then if we go out to like the monthly gamma max, which is way up here, I think like all of this is just sold calls, just like shitloads of sold calls, and that's pulling gamma max down. Do you think we could drop overnight, or they're gonna keep it in this range? I mean, I think the MM's probably pretty happy with it at like 43.90 to 85 in the overnight session, so we probably won't see a lot of hedging either way. There is some overnight data, I think. I know Yudo speaks at 3:35 a.m. and then There's an ECB bank bulletin at 4 a.m. Then we have jobless claims in the pre-market. But if jobless claims are bad and they push us below gamma neutral, they're going to spend the entire morning trying to regain GN again, right? Kind of like the last part of today. Last but not least, does Tesla look like a piece of shit? No, not entirely. Hold on. Let me look at something else. So Tesla had a bit of a spike in call interest going into this morning. That didn't really materialize into anything. Yeah, I'd still want to see a breakdown of probably of the trend. So like a breakdown of 215 before I considered going short. I don't think this is a good entry. Like this could break up or down. It's really could go either way. If they can't pump above 4,400 this week, will they get it before SLD begins next week into OPEX? Possibly. Yeah, if we stay above gamma, or well, I think if we stay above delta neutral into the end of this week, or we don't fall back to delta neutral, we're probably going to see a pump into the beginning of next week. We still can if you're trying. I challenge you to an oil wrestle. Me? I accept. What is the burrito but a taco giving itself a hug? All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. On that note, I'll see you later. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.